Hi everyone, Hothany Head Tano, Sweathany Band Tano. It's so muggy outside here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a review of the new Lil B Black Ken mixtape. Lil B is a California rapper, and this is his long-awaited first mixtape. He's billing it as like his first tape, which, if you know anything about the bass god at this point, he has many mixtapes already in circulation. However, it's weird that this Black Ken tape is coming out now because he teased and originally announced this tape years ago, like over 5 years ago at this point. Back when I assumed that when it would eventually be released, songs like My Diary and I'm Ready and Dead Presidents would be on it. And I'm not sure what happened between then and now because none of that material from years ago has made it onto this tape. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, just add it to the list of reasons why Lil B is rap's biggest enigma. Now, there are almost 30 tracks on this thing that average at 3 minutes and change, so you're talking about a 90-minute project here. But for some reason, it was pretty easy to take this thing in a few sittings and commit much of it to memory. I think because there wasn't anything too heady or deep or intricate or detailed about a lot of the lyrics, flows, and instrumentals. Truth be told, Lil B's very amateurish and loose rap delivery is still very much intact on this thing. You wouldn't think he's been rapping for as long as he has. He still sounds very messy and off the cuff and odd. He continues to break down the basic fundamentals of hip-hop music only to rebuild them in his own weird image. But this Black Ken tape pushes Lil B even further into outsider territory because he produced the entire thing. Now, this is not the first time we've heard Lil B produce or compose. There was like that mostly instrumental, new agey, kind of classical Tears for God project. Also Choices and Flowers, both of which were pretty much unlistenable. Black Ken, by comparison, though, I think is much better, much more enjoyable, even if the long-running instrumental introduction is very rough and not really that great. But there's something about the production on this project that's really rickety, it's unorthodox, it's weird, it's awkward, a lot like Lil B's rapping. And now that Lil B has total control over the direction and the style of the instrumentals on a mixtape, he goes into some really weird directions. There are grooves and drum patterns on this thing that sound like they came right out of the late 80s, like the song Berkeley or the song Free Life. I mean, these are just a couple of many tracks on this thing that sound like these long-lost avant-rap gems that are just now being resurrected in 2017. The very laid-back Ride has these very sparse, strange, and tense, open, spacey verses. It's very quiet. Lil B's delivery on this thing like borders on gentle spoken word, but then the track miraculously like becomes funky within a beat or two as soon as the chorus pops in. There are a few tracks on here that sound like these Bay Area bangers, like a really weird bastardization of West Coast hip-hop club music. The songs West Coast and Still Run It sound like really bad but also kind of hilarious Tupac impersonations. And the song Zambose brings a very unexpected Latin flavor to the project that I did not anticipate and I didn't think would go over as well as it does. Not to say that Lil B has mastered the art of fusing hip-hop and Latin music together, but it certainly comes together in a really unique way, enjoyably unique. And then to mention one more track, there's the very sparse and weird and somewhat off-kilter track Hip-Hop, which I thought was important to note because of sort of the lyrical topic here and the title of the song, despite the fact that Lil B has been making and listening to collectively for decades the art of rap music. You would think that from the sound of this song that he had just heard about it last month. It's a really weird, scattered listen. I can't say that Lil B doesn't keep it interesting, and there are a lot of tracks on here that I legitimately enjoy listening to, like the very raw, exciting, and kind of gritty and grimy rawest rapper Alive, or the song The Real Is Back. On these cuts, as well as others, Lil B continues to deliver some very personal lyrics, also kind of continue, sort of extend this generally positive vibe across a lot of his tracks, this based mentality. But it is Lil B. You know that there are going to be corny lyrics on here. Case in point, the song Go Senorita Go. I will admit though, sometimes I enjoy this album more for what it represents or its context than what it's actually doing. I mean, it certainly is a conversation starter, Like, how is Lil B's music so persistently weird? How does he continue to innovate as hip-hop's biggest and most major outsider in a time when weirdos are kind of reigning supreme? You know, Lil B doesn't follow the rules, and as a result of that, he doesn't live up to the basic fundamentals of a hip-hop album, the technical fundamentals. Yes, okay, yes. But because he doesn't follow the rules, he has a certain level of freedom that I don't hear in any other rapper's music today. Case in point, the song Rare Art, which sonically, lyrically, stands as one of the freakiest and most odd hip-hop songs of the year. But because of that lack of limitations and boundaries, this is a really unruly and unfocused and inconsistent project, a very inconsistent 90 minutes. There are just as many annoying lows as there are creative highs, and plenty of somewhat middle-of-the-road filler throughout the track listing too. Tracks that are really kind of redundant, don't bring anything in terms of a different sound or a different style to the track list, songs that run just a little bit too long. It really is a struggle to listen to the entire thing and appreciate it as a cohesive project, because it's just not. I recommend, though, giving it a shot because it is really weird. I think some of Lil B's finest moments thus far land on this thing. You just kind of need to hear it all out and pick through the tracks that appeal the most to you and just leave it at that, I guess. I'm feeling a decent to strong 5 on this thing. Transition. Have you given this mixtape a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Over here next to my head is another Lil B review. Please check that out. Watch some more videos or click on the link to subscribe to the channel. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lil B, Black Ken Mixtape, forever.